Welcome back, everybody. This is Eric and Barry from Moss Pond, and today we've got another little comparison video for you today. I actually had a customer of mine come in today, and he was asking about the differences between the Ruger SR22 and the Walther P22. So I got to think about it. I was like, you know what? That's a great idea for a video. So here we are. We're going to make a video about that. We'll try to keep it quite brief because the pistols are very similar. As you know, the Walther P22 has been out for quite a while now. It's a very, I guess, older design compared to some of the others out on the market now. And the Ruger SR22 is kind of a Johnny-come-lately. It's only been out now about 2 years.
2 years, yeah.
So it hasn't been on the market very long. There are some definite similarities with the SR22 to the P22, to the point of that, save for a few basic arrangements, it is pretty much a copy of the Walther. Just like the LCP is a copy of the Kel-Tec. Barry, I know that you train a lot of your students on the Walther. What's your opinion on that gun?
Well, I've trained probably 50 to 75 people on this gun. Now, they've redesigned this gun. You'll see when Eric gets the close-ups, the slide is more contoured, and they've changed the grip pattern, which is very nice. This grip is small on this gun. Anybody can handle it. It's a really nice little gun. Of course, all the Walthers are threaded. Now, this is the adapter that you have to get to put the suppressor on the gun, but it's got a fiber optic front sight. The mag release is very unique. It's on the side here, ambidextrous. You can do it one way or the other. Now, when you go to lower your hammer on this gun, you put it in a safe position, and even if you dry fire it, the gun won't fire. The Ruger, on the other hand, when you put the safety on, it drops your hammer for you. So there you got that, see. Now this is ambidextrous too. This gun really has no lockout safety on it. All you have is a hammer block safety. So when you put it up like this in an S position, even if you dry fire it, it won't fire. It can't hit the firing pin.
That's correct. And I believe, unless they changed it, some of the older Walthers had a little key on it that you could actually lock the frame, but I don't think the newer ones have that. Do they?
No.
My old Walther has, I've got an older Walther P22, and mine's got a little thing where you can put a key and lock the frame. I'm not crazy about that concept of locking a gun, and plus, to me, it's just one more thing to go wrong if something breaks or whatever. To me, it's just another liability.
But both these guns are threaded for your suppressor. That's your standard thread, like on an AR-15 or M16, is it not?
It's 1/2 by 28, I believe, yes.
But your suppressor, here's a nice little suppressor. We're selling these now. They're 100-pound arms, Guardian. Very nice little suppressor. Of course, the threads are the same on both guns. But both these guns are excellent weapons. Now, I haven't taken too many people to the range with the Ruger, but like I said, about maybe 50 to 75 people I've trained with this gun, and I've only had one that malfunctioned. And it was a chronic malfunction. It would jam 2 or 3 shots out of a magazine. The customer sent it back to Walther, and they got it fixed, and it's run fine ever since. But normally, these are very trouble-free little guns.
Well, I've owned a Walther P22 for probably about 11 years now, and I've never had a problem with it. I've shot thousands of rounds through it, suppressed, unsuppressed, you name it. Every matter of bolt pack, all the way up to top shelf ammo. I've never been able to get a Walther P22 to malfunction. Now, with that being said, I've read on a lot of forums and I've heard from a lot of people that the Walther P22 has its share of problems. Some of the older ones have issues with the feed ramps being rough. Some of them have rails and slide rails. The serrations, it's almost kind of like a CZ75 type design where the rails ride on the inside of the slide. And I've heard customer stories where people say that some of those rails can be rough or machined improperly. Some people say you have to run them really wet, really dry. There's any amount of excuses that people come up with to hate the Walther P22. But I've owned one, like I said, for over 10 years, and it's a great gun. I run mine lubricated just like any other gun, and I feed it good ammo, and it runs every time. It shoots great.
Well, you'll see that Walther in a lot of the videos, especially Eric's wife Brandy shooting one. She's a dead shot with one of these now. Yeah. And that little gun, I don't ever remember that gun ever jamming, ever.
No, never.
It hasn't.
And it hasn't. The only time I've ever had any kind of minor malfunctions out of a Walther P22 is running subsonic ammunition without a suppressor. Now, what the suppressor will do is it adds a little bit more back pressure because they are blowback, so it gives it just a little bit extra back pressure to make sure it runs reliably. The guns do like, good solid ammo, good hot ammo, and like I said, that's the only time. And I don't even think a Walther P22 is meant to run subsonic without a suppressor at all, but mine will most of the time. Now, granted, disassembly procedures on the Walther P22 is not what I would consider easy. It is helpful to have the tool that allows you to reassemble it to compress the recoil spring. The Ruger, pretty similar method of disassembly, equally frustrating, but the Ruger does have some features that I do like. One is the fact that the hammer drops without having to pull the trigger, especially when you're on the range or just wherever. It does freak a lot of people out when you have a weapon on safe and to drop the hammer you have to squeeze the trigger. Some people don't understand that that's just normal procedure. So as a range gun, I can see where this would be a lot more favorable for maybe inexperienced shooters. Just the fact that you do have the big red, red is dead logo there on the side, that when the safety's off, it kind of warns you a lot. They are very respectable guns. I can see why Ruger chose to copy the Walther P22. I mean, anyone that says an SR22 is not a copy of a P22 is just full of it.
Right.
It is a copy.
They're obviously
They copied the gun.
Obviously.
One thing the Ruger does have that I do like over the P22 is the ambidextrous safety location is much like what an American shooter would expect, a button style that you push from either direction,
Right.
whereby the Walther uses that lever you have to push down, which for some shooters, especially if you're not used to Walther, can be a very cumbersome feat to take care of. This gun to me just feels a lot more like what an American shooter would come to expect out of a rimfire pistol.
Well, you might say that's more of an Americanized Walther.
It pretty much is an Americanized Walther. I mean, there are some things that they changed. Both guns have kind of a skeletonized, scalloped hammer, double single action, rail system, grip built into the bottom of the magazine. Both magazines have a little lever on the side that you can compress the follower with to load the magazines, and that makes the magazine easy to load for children and young ladies and people with limited strength in their hands to load the magazine. So the things that they took from the Walther, of course, are the good features of the Walther.
Right.
So.
Well, another thing Eric was mentioning a while ago, the Ruger comes with 2 magazines.
Yes, it
The
does.
Walther only comes with 1, and the Walther's more expensive.
Walther is more expensive, and the magazines are generally about the same cost. The SR22 magazines versus the P22 magazine cost is about the same. I would say that parts availability and service and support from Ruger is going to be a little bit cut above Walther, I hate to say. Now, with that being said, I own the Walther PPX. I'm picking up a PPQ Mark II that I'm eyeballing in the counter over here soon. I love that gun, by the way. And I do own 2 Walther P22s. They're excellent guns, and I've never had a problem out of any of them. Now, have I ever had a problem with out of any of my Ruger pistols? Nope. So to say that the customer service is better from Ruger versus Walther, I would say that Ruger is probably better equipped to handle warranty issues than Walther would be, at least in my mind. I mean, every customer I've ever talked to that's dealt with Ruger for warranty has always gotten really rapid and quick turnaround.
I have never known Ruger. I've been around a lot longer than Eric, and I've seen a lot of Rugers. Not a lot of Rugers go back, but let's say a gun needs to be reconditioned, or a gun might have grips that cracked or something on it. You send it to Ruger, they get it back quick. I sent a Ruger, a GP100 in one time, the timing was off for some reason. And they sent it back with new grips, new trigger, new hammer, didn't charge me a dime.
Yep, and
Never
just about
known
any time you send a gun into Ruger to get looked at, it doesn't matter if it's the silliest little thing that's wrong. Generally, they give you a spare mag in the box when you get it back for your trouble.
Ruger has always been good
Yeah,
service.
get an extra mag for your trouble. You might have to live without the gun 3 weeks. Get an extra mag and the gun's made right. Everyone moves on with life. Everybody's happy.
That's right.
I have generally always been very happy with Ruger products and Walther. This video is not meant to bash Ruger or Walther. This is just simply to compare the two guns. You draw your own conclusion as to what you may think. We're talking about our experiences with the gun. I've had more experience with the Walther than I have the Ruger, obviously because the Walther's been around longer than the Ruger. I do think that Ruger, in recent years has really made a lot of attempts to kind of catch up in the market. Ruger is kind of a Johnny-come-lately company when it comes to many firearms designs. They were one of the last ones to get in the striker fire gun market with the SR series striker fire pistols. They were one of the last to get into the rimfire category with the polymer frame rimfire guns. Now, granted, their 2245 is a great take on their classic standard auto. However, I would consider this to be a direct knockoff of the Walther. The LCP, a direct knockoff in many ways to the Kel-Tec. Again, just an example of, I mean, yeah, I can understand them wanting to catch up with the industry, but invent something new. You know?
Well, also, Eric, Ruger's come out with an American series of rifles, which is you got the blued steel and with the synthetic stock. They're trying to compete with the Savage Axis, and Mossberg makes one. I forget what the name of it, but all of them are making these economical hunting rifles, and Ruger is just following suit. I mean, they have to stay in the market.
Well,
so
it makes sense for Ruger to do it though, because Ruger makes a great entry-level rifle. Their Hawkeye rifles are excellent. I own several M77 Mark II all-weathers with skeletonized stocks. That's one of my favorite rifles. I love that particular series of gun, and they're great bolt-action rifles. So Ruger is a trusted name for, you know, their standard autos, their 1022, obviously a great product. But getting back to the two guns here, each one has their detracts and merits as to what makes them good or bad. Are both guns excellent? Yes. Is one gun better than the other? Well, I guess that depends on your preference. I would probably lean for the Walther, just because I prefer a proven design, and you know, Walther invented the P22. So it's got to be right. They've done a lot of troubleshooting over the years. They've improved the design. They've taken customers' you know, comments into account and improved their design based on that. What has Ruger done? They copied it. Now, the Ruger's a great gun. I'm not complaining about the Ruger, but I personally would probably prefer the Walther. That's
there
just
again,
me.
like Eric says, at this time, I would probably pick the Walther myself, because this gun, even though it's been out a couple of years, really doesn't have a big track record. No. We don't really know.
The only track record that gun has is that it's a copy of a proven design. But if you're going to own a design, why not own the original?
They both have the standard rail. You can put your standard light, laser, whatever on the bottom of it.
Construction-wise, it is a very well-made gun.
But I kind of like the grip on this gun better.
I do too. I like the grip on the P22. And I did buy my wife a Ruger LCP. She really likes that gun a lot. And I will say this, that the Ruger LCP is scores better than the Kel-Tec P3AT. You have to admit, because the Kel-Tec's a great gun, but it is really cheap feeling compared to the LCP.
But there again, the LCP is a copy of the Kel-Tec.
It is a copy, but it's an improvement.
Yeah.
I have to admit, it is an improvement on the design.
It's more ergonomic.
And that gun has been out quite a while.
Right.
So anyway, I know these videos here, you know, I hope a lot of you like these, but we like to compare very similar guns from time to time, because we like to kind of forward information along to you guys that we get from our customers on a regular basis. And also, you know, we do have these guns for sale here. We got P22s in stock. We got SR22s. If you're in the market for one, have any questions, feel free to call us. We'll do what we can to help. We don't mind talking to folks on the phone, and we always appreciate your business. I know a lot of the people that watch these videos, you guys are our customers, and we really appreciate your business.
Well, in closing, Eric and I working here at Moss, we get a lot of feedback about all kinds of guns. So if a gun has a generalized problem, we normally know about it.
And we like to pass that information along. There's going to be some videos coming up that are going to be like that. But
we had a guy come in today, bought a 1022 from us, and he said it was jamming every second shot. Well, he was shooting substandard ammunition in it. I ran some Remington Vipers through it, 30 rounds, as fast as you could pull the trigger. Anytime you got a semi-auto like this, they're going to prefer high-speed ammunition.
correct.
Like Eric said, with a suppressor, though, you can use subsonic because you get more of the gases are blowing, coming back. It's not going all out the barrel.
Correct. You get more back pressure with a suppressor.
Well, alrighty. Well, I guess we're going to wrap it up for this one, and we appreciate y'all tuning in on us, and we appreciate each and every subscriber out there. Y'all are all valuable.
Absolutely, and we appreciate you subscribing and watching, and if you like these videos, let us know. We will definitely do more. A lot of the little benchtop comparison guns, where we compare guns and everything, is always a nice thing. I know you guys like them, so we'll keep doing them. Just let us know, and if you have a special request, leave it in the comments below, and we might be able to accommodate that request.
Okay. We'll do it.
Have a good one.
Y'all have a good evening.